Om Vishwam Darpan Drishyamana Tulyanijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahiribhutbhutai Yatha Nigraya Yasakshat Gurute Prabodhasamaye Swatmanameva Dvayam Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namahidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Bijasyantarimam Kuro Jagadidam Pram Nirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Deshakal Kalana Vaichitra Chitri Kritam Maya Viva Vidrumayatya Vimaha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaham Shri Dakshinamurtaye Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namahidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavinyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om. So we are in the process of proving a equation. All that is here, which you experience as unknown or known. Whatever is there, what you know of the world is very little. In a one given thing also we don't know. After 4 questions we have to start doing this, I don't know. That creation is manifestation, all the forms basically are manifestation of Ishvara's knowledge and definitely reveals that Ishvara is all-knowing, naturally. Very, very clear. From the creation itself, anywhere you dip into, you start analyzing, you find it is more and more ignorance as though reveals. That's how people, the scientists are very humble people. Very humble. Because they know what they don't know is much more than what they know. Really. A true scientist is a very humble person. That shows that that particular form is a manifestation of Ishvara's knowledge, all-knowing Ishvara. So with respect to this manifestation, with respect to this Jagat, we call Ishvara as a Sarvajna. With respect to this creation, which is all forces, we call Ishvara as omnipotent, Sarvashakti. But Swami, this is some different order. We have learned this, the Brahman plus Maya, that becomes the Ishvara, that is the cause of the creation. That's what it is. All the names and forms in an unmanifest condition, along with this Brahman, becomes the cause that alone manifest. All names and forms have not come from any non-existence. They are all manifest from the unmanifest. As unmanifest we call Maya. That's it. Nothing else. So along with that unmanifest, all your knowledge, right, which was there in you, a conscious being, which was unmanifest, manifest as dream world. That's it. You are the cause with your all unmanifest names and forms. They alone manifest. So nothing, I'm not going in that direction because it's a different way we are looking at it. The Ishvara here basically we are looking Ishvara as a therapist. A very good therapist who is the therapist who can take care of my psychological being. Several issues are there. Most of the issues have this basis. Swamiji, I respond in a situation and then definitely I feel that I should not have responded. Most of our responses to the world in a relationship are basically reactions rather than an action. All reactions. Most of our responses are mechanical. That reveals that something in me is there which is not under my control. And that's called unconscious. Right? That's called unconscious. And well, we are in the process of definitely taking care of that with the help of Ishvara, and how you are pervaded by Ishvara. Pervaded by order. If you are pervaded by order, you are in order. Oh, but I am very angry. That's okay. Means what? With my anger I should victimize someone? No. What should I do? That I will be telling you. That's a two-step response. So, generally we have a one-step response. I respond in terms of anger to the world. I respond in terms of fear to the world. I respond in terms of jealousy to the world. I respond in terms of a sadness to the world. Right? I respond in terms of a greed. I respond in the sense of competition with the world. That's a one-step response. No. Become a devotee and respond. That's what it is. Noting there is a Ishvara who is pervading you in your psychology. You will be seeing that. And therefore, that is Ishvara is in form of laws. And no law will fail. That's how it's called order. That's how another name of Ishvara is infallible. What is infallible is Ishvara. Means he never fails. Never fails. Therefore you can trust totally. Right? Which never fails, you can trust. And therefore, if that order is pervading me, my mind, my senses, everywhere. And one of the order now we are seeing is a physiological order. Physiological order. So physical order, physical bodies, physical objects. In that some of them are inert, some are living beings, biological order. And now in the living beings, there is another intelligent manifestation. And that is prana. Right? All our physiology. Prana, apana, respiration, digestion, circulation, everything, ejection. The prana is also intelligent manifestation. No one can deny it. Anyway, so we call the function of the prana well, which governs our health, ill health. All this is physiological order, physiological manifestation, which we study in the branch of physiology. Physiology reveals varieties of the principles, laws, order, basically. And it pervades every living being. That's how one of the namings in Vedanta we have for the prana, samashti prana, as a sutratma. You must have heard. Like a thread, passes through all the beads, right? Keeping all the beads together as a garland. Same way all the living beings are connected by prana, right? You have a respiration, digestion, everything. I also have. And that's how we even worship also. In form of a prana, we worship Ishvara. Pranaya swaha, apanaya swaha, jnanaya swaha, udanaya swaha, samanaya swaha. Then lastly, Brahmani. That is not our nirguna, so-called nirguna Brahma. That Brahmani means Hiranyagarbha, the samashti, who is in the form of a samashti, who connects every living being. Anything which is manifestation, universal manifestation, is Ishvara, total. Very intelligent manifestation. So I am pervaded. I, the conscious being, is pervaded by prana. So we feel that, well, I should realize Ishvara is right here, pervading you, sustaining you, nourishing you, right here. Anyway, so And so this is a physiological order covering every plant, tree, etc. that photosynthesizes and prepares a food for us, etc. It's called plant physiology. And because of this physiological order, only all the discovery of medicines are possible. They make a molecule, they discover a certain molecule, drug, and they first taste it on a guinea pigs, rats. And from rats, they jump to human beings. It may not sound good that I have equated with the rat, but basically from rat, scientists get so much confidence. Once it works on rat, they feel it is going to work here. Why? The same laws apply. Right? Same laws. But they test on monkey also for to be better, sure. Once it works on monkey, they become so sure. Immediately they will start, they call clinical trials. Yeah. 4-phase clinical trials they start doing. They call a few people and they administer the drug with so much confidence. What the physiology of the monkey, physiology of the rat, physiology of the guinea pig is the physiology of the human being. Amazing manifestation. That's how I say one prana pervades everywhere. So basically, study of a physiology, study of a medicine is a study of Ishvara. That's how Ishvara is called Vaidya, Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. Ishvara is a physician. When you study medicine, you are studying Ishvara. Amazing way, how much it is pervading. It's full. Vedanta has to give to the humanity a vision. This is a vision, this is not philosophy. Vision of the reality. What you experience, if you analyze with the help in the light of Vedanta, you discover something very profound. Right? So this is how it is. So it's a physiological order. And very critical order is psychological order. So there is also a psychological order, and a dog has a certain faithfulness. Dog means faithful. Psychology. So basically, all animals have their own psychology. Each member of a species behaves in a same manner, more or less. Why Swamiji more or less? You said it is infallible, therefore it may be sometime exception. No. In our understanding of the order, in our understanding of principle, we may be lacking. Once you improve your understanding, then you find, well, it's within order. Please understand this. Sometimes you feel, especially in the field of science, you feel, Swamiji, that law was proven wrong now. You said law is infallible, Ishvara, but that's proven wrong. Our understanding of the law has been improved. Yeah. I will be talking to you. So, there is a psychological order. That is why one can tame a lion, one can tame an elephant. I recently saw a YouTube video, by the way, not in India, live, that one, I think, Muslim person in Pakistan has several tigers and lions, all tamed. So you can tame a lion, you can tame an elephant, you can tame any animal. Why? You know something which is common. So you tap Ishvara in form of those laws, psychology. Now come to the human being psychological order. We are very anxious. We are prone to fear, anger, and so on. And nothing is without causes. Nothing is without causes. So when somebody is angry, we cannot tell that person not to be angry. It's a wrong thing to say. As if the person, and the anger is in the hand of the person. The way we say, you should not be angry, means it's in your hand not to be angry. Never. Anger happens. You can never be deliberately angry. You can never be deliberately fearful. Never. Let me have some fear for half a minute. You cannot. Whatever you try. Let me be angry for half a minute. You cannot. Then don't think I am an angel. If I cannot get angry right away, even if with my volition, don't think I am free from anger. happens. All this happens. It's like if I tell you to clap, you are free to clap. You are free to clap once, you are free to clap 2 times, you need not clap. You clap it after everybody clapped. I mean, that clapping is over, you clap. Everything is in your hand. But any emotion is not in your hand. Especially this, reactions, anger, etc. is not in your hand. If I tell you to be angry, well, let me be angry for half a minute, let me be angry for 5 minutes, let me be angry after 10 minutes. Nothing. You cannot, it's not in your hand. So, well, basically, so it just happens. So, you are responsible for your action. You can tell the person not to act in anger. That you can definitely. And that's how some people are very wise. When they get angry, they leave the place. That's a wise thing to do. Being there, you do something which is more reaction, which is not even beyond which is not in your hand. So that I can tell you, that you should not act anything in anger. But I cannot tell you not to be angry. I should not tell you to get angry. I should not tell you not to be angry also. Yes, it's not in your hand. So there are reasons for getting angry. But what are the reasons? Psychology. Psychology is a branch where that helps you in knowing the reasons. Is a very, very important branch, psychology. Half of the Bhagavad Gita is psychology. If you remove this, all emotions, kama, krodha, raga, dvesha, etc., if you remove, then Gita would be simply few pages. That Swamiji, Bhagavad Gita is a psychology. No, we branch out from psychology, bringing Ishvara into everything and validate our emotion, which psychologists will never do. That's where we differ. All emotions, we are bringing as order here, validates it. We find there are reasons, there are principles which govern all our emotions. It may be fear. Fear has a reason. Anger has a reason. The sadness has a reason. Nothing is without reason. So there is a cause-effect relationship, which is Ishvara. Yeah. Human mind will be angry if this thing is there. It's a law. Whether it is you, me, anybody. Manifestation, universal manifestation, very critical manifestation. That is where a human being has to take care. Especially our seekers, they always feel, oh, Swami, I'm getting angry, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. There's so much of self-loath. Having a lot of self-loath and self-disrespect, self-rejection, self-non-acceptance, how that person is going to understand, I'm the cause of the world. How you are going to understand it? It's impossible to understand. The very self-loath is an obstacle. Because this Vedanta, as you open the book, they say the self is Brahman. You say, I am very angry and I'm that. So you have to validate emotions. All these are cause-effect relationship. It works on certain principles. Human being has not made a law that these things happen means this is the anger will happen. That's there. That's what we study in psychology. When a psychologist study, they don't study a muktatma. They study a human being. We call it human psychology. Means common principle. Right? Universal manifestation. Understand, once it goes more than a person, then another conscious being is involved, and that is Ishvara. And you have to validate it. I will show you how to validate it. But anyway, this is a process, of course. So one must respect definitely psychology. One must respect emotions, ultimately, because emotions make a human being. No matter how great a person will be, one can make one's life only according to what his or her emotion is. And that is why one may be even a great scientist, but emotionally one may be unstable to the extent that he may commit suicide also. You may feel he's such a wonderful person, very well known, very good brain, I came to know recently when IIM professor, IIM, Indian Institute of Management, very premier institute, and a very senior professor, not lecturer, senior person, senior professor, almost to the level of going to be a director of that. Such a person committed suicide in Ahmedabad. You feel, why? He has a reputation, he has money, everything. So you may be intellectually, maybe so much wise and everything, but what deals in the world is an emotional being. You are your emotion. All your responses never come from your wisdom. It should come, but never come. That's how people blame us, right? If I attend Bhagavad Gita class and get angry in the home, you say, what are you doing? This is what your Swami is teaching you? They say like that. So they become more allergic, in fact, seeing my attitude in the home. We should understand this. I have given you the reason for that, but anyway, so basically one which responds in various situations is this emotional being. But there is reason for every emotion, which is a cause-effect relationship. So basically most of our behavior and responses is based on that unconscious. And that is how it just comes up and you are not even conscious and respond to the world in form of anger, fear, anything. Sometimes even if I tell you this unconscious is a very big thing. We have a word for that in our Sanskrit. It is used in a commando camp, and that's called kashaya. Kashaya is a word for that. So don't feel that Swamiji is talking this unconscious. We know it. It's not that it's totally new. It's called kashaya. And that governs to the extent that the person is sitting, nothing has happened, everything is fine, suddenly starts feeling fearful, suddenly starts crying. There are people who cry for every little thing. Even we wonder that there is nothing. Just, oh Swamiji, you have come after 1 year, starts crying. What happened? I have come, it's a matter of a joy to meet people, but she starts crying. You must have seen this kind of thing. So it's all from unconscious. Person also feels later, oh, I should not have cried. Swami also has to tell me, I should not have cried. It's not in your hand. That's how I say unconscious. Consciously you may not cry. If you are conscious, you will not cry. So suddenly a fear envelops to you. Suddenly a crying. Suddenly sadness. And you try to find what reason, why I am so sad. You won't find. Because being unconscious, you will never know. You will never know. That's called unconscious. When something is conscious mind, you immediately know. Yeah, it is there in my mind. But this you never know. And people have a fear for this. That's how people sometimes don't want to remain, alone. Because some fear, etc. Something will pop up. We have fear for fear also. We have fear for everything. Yeah. Anyway, so this is what the psychological order. It's a manifestation of Ishvara only. And of course, psychological order includes memory. Memory is also very critical. Memory, of course, along with this other emotions, we can say, psychology. And all responses are based on this memory. So every human being is within that order, and everybody's behavior is within the order, and therefore everybody's behavior is in order. Everybody is okay. To the extent you don't victimize others. You process in such a way that, considering everything is manifestation of Ishvara, and you process, you basically heal the emotions. What comes out when you see Ishvara, that I will talk to you, that's the basis of all emotions that comes out, and that is how you are able to heal it. Okay, I will leave that part. Then we have now you are able to understand these orders, etc. is due to one other order called cognitive order, because of which you are able to understand all the orders. Right? You are able to understand, all of you are able to understand. Like a piece of knowledge. A piece of knowledge is valid or not, you are able to decide. That's a cognitive order. You are able to decide, I am able to decide, she is able to decide. Like I will tell you one example. That, well, a definition of a human being, suppose if I ask you. You say, the one with 2 legs is a human being. And then you start thinking, is it true or not? Is it true or not? This is as cognitive order. Whether it is logical, valid or not. Logical, valid. Then you understand, wait, this is, Swami is wrong. This definition is wrong. One with the 2 legs is human being, then crow is also a human being. Right? Crow is therefore this definition is not correct. All this process is common. Right? It's called cognitive order. If this is with this order, you are able to understand all psychological order, this order, that order, you are able to understand. You gain knowledge. Every human being is capable of gaining knowledge, understanding it is valid, invalid, all based on this order which is present in every human being. One may utilize, one may not utilize, that's a different thing, but it is present. The possibility is there. Cognitive order. And therefore, one order only is left, which I will be talking at the end, but everything is ultimately one order. Ishvara is this Maha order. But in order to assimilate the vision of Ishvara, we have divided into various orders. Please understand this. And therefore, there is no distance between one order and the other order. Where there is a physical order, there is a biological order also. And well, there is no distance between anatomy and physiology. Well, there is no distance between a biology, anatomy and psychology. If we go to a hospital attached to some, medical college, we'll find that departments are different. Department of Psychology, Department of Medicine, Department of Physiology, etc., Department of Neurology, Anatomy department. Departments are different. Yeah. One person got a stomach pain, and as you know, in America at least they examine a lot. So he complained about a stomach pain, and then he was sent to one particular department. And then from there they say, no, we want to examine further. And so then he was sent to another. Then he was sent to third department. For 1 week, he moved from one department to other department to other department. And after 1 week, he came and told that, well, my pain has gone because of the exercise. Lack of exercise, he was having a stomach pain. Departments are different. But one who goes in various departments is the same fellow. Go to anatomy department, same fellow. Psychology department, same fellow. Neurology department, same fellow. That shows all are here. The neurology is here, the psychology is here, the physiology is here, the anatomy is here. Everything is here. I will tell you, engineering is also here. Electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, everything is here. Amazing thing I tell you is, but in a form of order. Two physical objects you want to connect. Well, you use generally a nut bolts, etc. Right? Generally. Well, you connect it with nuts and bolts. Even doctors may found that this physical body is part of physical universe. So what law applies there can be applied here. Therefore, orthopedic people sometimes, the broken bone, they connect it with nuts and bolts. I myself have here. Honestly, I have nuts and bolts here. Amazing it is. One order. So one Ishvara is just one order. Or one principle which never fails. Infallible. Ishvara is infallible. It's a wrong statement. Why? Because if tsunami occurs, you will say, what is infallible is Ishvara. Yeah, that's it. whenever I give these lectures, always I hear comments. Hey, this is also Ishvara. Like that, they basically do a mockery of the things. The very mockery, etc. also is part of the psychology, manifestation of Ishvara. Okay. If this is so, how far you are away from Ishvara? How far you are away? So are you away from the physical order? No. Are you away from the psychological order? No. Are you away from the physiological order? No. Are you away from this cognitive order? No. It's all here. If it is all here, Swamiji, I should know. That's the thing. The distance between you and Ishvara is ignorance only. There is no distance. What is Ishvara ultimately? You are all the time connected. You don't know that you are connected. People ask me the question that, well, Swamiji, this, our devotion means there is a surrender. This is surrender. This is called surrender, where I was claiming I am body, I have memory, I am this, I am that, I am hungry, I am thirsty. All that is there is Ishvara. So we say, Tanamana Dhana Sabha Kucha Tera. What it means? The surrender we say like this, Tanamana Dhana Sabha Kucha Tera. But every day we do this arpada. We never understood that it is a manifestation of Ishvara. The real devotion is, the real surrender is a surrender in terms of your cognitive change. That whatever is you experience, whatever is there, known, unknown, is Ishvara. You become a devotee. And if you are a devotee, well, definitely you taking into account Ishvara, well, you are able to improve your psychological health. Taking them as a manifestation of Ishvara. So when you are angry, you are not away from Ishvara. You are within Ishvara's psychological order. Ishvara is manifest in the form of psychological order. And when you discover something, well, you are within Ishvara's cognitive order. Even if you are able to understand right now what I am talking, and perhaps with that clarity you may be getting joy, etc. It's also part of cognitive order. Anyway, the last critical order is order of dharma and order of karma. Very important. Because as a human being you are self-conscious, and the self you are conscious of, well, confers upon you, well, a certain freedom. So what you call free will or freedom to choose, well, comes from your own self-consciousness. And when you have such a choice, human being has that choice. So whenever there is a choice, there is a possibility of a wrong choice and a right choice. So every human being has that freedom, free to choose. Therefore, Ishvara has to manifest in you as something called right and something called wrong, so that you can choose all the time what is right. It has to manifest. That's also intelligent manifestation. So one must have certain common norms basically as a basis for one's own choices. And norms must be universal, Ishvara's manifestation. Only then we can say the choices are either right or wrong. Word good and bad, etc. is based on likes and dislikes. So that is all purely, it's one's own judgment. There is nothing good, bad. It's for the person. What is good for you may not be good for me. What is bad for you may not be bad for me. But there is something called right and wrong, which is universal. A right for you is right for me. I'll talk to you. What is wrong for you is wrong for me. Then only a common basis to transact. Yeah. So I have to exercise my choice, free will, based on that. I may not be exercising, that's a different issue. We'll talk to that. But the Ishvara should manifest in everyone as that common norm. What is right, what is wrong. Everyone should have a knowledge of what is right and wrong without going to universities. Yeah. And everyone has. Everyone knows what is right and what is wrong, etc. Anyway, so we should have the knowledge of what is proper, improper, what is dharma, dharma we call. Anyway, and so we have to relate to the people, to animals, to the plants, trees, stars, everywhere. Relating to only we are living, unrelated we are not living. Unrelated we may be alive, like in coma, like in deep sleep state. But definitely, well, we live a life relating, and in that we definitely make choices. We have to respond. Responses can be right or wrong, and well, should have a common basis. So you will be able to sense what is right. I will be able to also sense what is right. And when we both of exercise our free will based on what is right, we are in harmony. Again, there is a joy. In disharmony, there is no joy. Not to hurt you is the right thing. You also know not to hurt me. I should know, I also know, you also know not to hurt you. You also know not to hurt me. And we definitely choose this thing only. Then in our transaction, there is a harmony. It's also manifestation of Ishvara. No one can feel, no one can tell that I'm ignorant of this common norms. Everyone knows. Where the free will is given, there itself this is given. Like on the side. Like the two sides of a coin. One side free will, and the very next side is what to choose. Immediately it comes. But due to pressure of our likes and dislikes, we may ignore it. Because generally what I like is not what is right. Generally what is wrong, which generally I like. What is wrong, I like. And what is right, I don't like. Doing exercise is the right thing. Suppose, simple thing I am telling you. Getting up early in the morning and do prayers is the right thing. Wonderful. Is the right thing. But I don't like to get up early. No way. Eating sweets too much is not right thing. Because the sugar is running all along in the body. But what I like is to eat sweets. This is a conflict. This is the issue. Any conflict is a root for stress, anxiety, or pressure. You fulfill likes and dislikes, but you basically, it's a bargain. It's a very big bargain, bad bargain. This person who knows what is right and wrong but cannot conform to that, in his own eyes, he is falling. That's what is happening. When you don't get up, you know it's a good thing to get up early in the morning and do. But when you don't get up, shut off the alarm clock. And when you get up at 7 o'clock, what feeling do you have? Very wonderful feeling? Really self-acceptance? No. In your own eyes you fall down. Self-non-acceptance. Because you know what is right, what is wrong. You have value for it also, but you are not able to cope up to the value which you have. What I value for, if I am not able to cope up, I will fall in my own eyes. It's a very bad bargain. Very bad bargain. There are other things I'm not going in, but there is, what I want to say is we call common sense. Everyone senses, every human being senses what is right, what is wrong. Everyone knows. Including mafia knows, Don also knows what is right, what is wrong. He roams everywhere, but he wants that no one should roam him. Anyway, so every living organism wants to survive, nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to be an object of another's deception. Nobody wants to be lied to. Nobody wants to be robbed. Nobody wants one's own weak situations to be exploited, to be taken advantage of by others. So I do not want this, and I know others also don't want. I also equally know that others also do not want it. Everybody wants to be free from being a victim of somebody's harmful action. So this is, we call, well, that's how, this lesson in schools, the lesson of this moral, order, etc. This moral lessons, they call it. We have we used to have in our school in Ahmedabad, a moral lesson class. It's a disaster actually, because everyone knows, oh, you should not tell lie, you should not cheat others, etc. It's a disaster. You need not teach this. Yeah, you have to teach what is it that you lose when you tell a lie. That is to be taught. You should not tell lie, nothing, you should not tell that. But what is it that you lose when you go against this right and wrong? That you don't know. The value of a value, you don't know. Dharma is something which you value. Non-hurting you value. Accommodation you value. Everything you value. But the value of value I don't know. So value education basically means not teaching this kind of thing. Beta, you should not speak lie, you should not do this. No. What a child will lose if he goes against the value, that is to be taught. Anyway, so this dharma we commonly sense and we have wonderful. Swami, how can you say it is a manifestation of Ishvara? Lord Rama is a manifestation of dharma. Embodiment, we call it embodiment of dharma. Krishna embodiment of love, and he is a straight. Dharma means all the straight. Rama is all the time straight. And our Krishna is all tribhangi. Manifestation of love. Ananda. It's also Ananda, Ishvara Ananda. Anyway, so this is the order of this common norms, is we call order of dharma. And animals do not have this naturally because they don't have free will. Therefore they need not exercise. But some animals also like that they should not be hurt. Naturally, they don't like. So let's call they have a one-sided dharma. They don't know they should not hurt others. That freedom they don't have because they are programmed. But at least they know. Animals know that they should not be hurt. So one-sided, 50% dharma they have. That's not dharma. I asked one person, and well, he came, he was very happy. So I said, what is the reason for that? He said, I am going to marry a so-and-so actress. I said, oh, wonderful. I said, how? When did you meet her? And how did you propose and all this? He said, I haven't met. So I said, did you call her? So he said, well, no. I haven't called. Then I said, you sent email or something? No, I haven't done anything. Then how can you say, well, that you are going to marry? So he said, it is a 50% marriage. I have decided to marry her. Because you say marriage means, it's between two people. So I have decided, she will decide later. I have decided. No. So if an animal, etc., don't have this sense of not being hurt, to be hurt, getting hurt, etc., well, they have a 50% dharma. No. They are totally programmed. There is no ethical cow, an unethical cow. Somebody is ethical. See, what a thing. It all the time gives, shares the milk and everything. No. There is no unethical tiger or ethical tiger. There is no ethical cow or unethical cow. Dharma dharmabhyam vimuktaha pashuhu. That's the definition. Pashuhu, the animal who is vimuktaha, free from dharma. There is no choice. They are programmed. They are programmed to participate in this creation, and they participate. Human being may not participate. That's how we have aim for Seva, and we are waiting. We are waiting people should participate. We have to encourage people. In fact, by common sense, they should participate. Because of the participation of the entire world, I am right now sitting here. My life of 50, 60 years is because of the entire participation of the world. Your one cup of tea needs whole world. One cup of tea. Shall I start that? really nothing less than the universe. Nothing less than universe. One cup of tea. Think about clothes, think about food, air. No bills. Ishvara doesn't send any bills for giving support, for giving air, for giving warmth, fire inside, right? No bills. Only thing is he keeps doing silently. We have taken it for granted. We should support. I'm talking to this. I just remember that I should tell, we should support. Reaching out, having compassion, sharing, understanding is a mature response. That is what makes a person actually fit for this knowledge, to gain moksha. So anyway, tiger, if it kills deer, still it is not unethical. But if you kill, you are basically answerable to your conscience. That conscience is nothing but this essence of dharma, you can sense it. So like the law of gravitation that we all sense, the law of dharma also we all commonly sense. Dharma is in the head of everybody, and if you go against universal order, definitely you are going to pay a lot. Like, you thought you want to rub this a bark of a margosa or a neem tree, which is very thick, and you thought you want to rub it. You cannot rub the tree or the bark of the tree unless you are getting rubbed in the process. Whether after rubbing 10 times, right, with your shoulder, you look at that tree and you find that nothing has happened, but you will not be able to wear shirt for at least another 9 days. Yeah. So the action and reaction are really equal and opposite. So if you go against the law of dharma, the order, universal manifestation, go against Ishvara, it's a heavy loss. What heavy loss? What are you thinking? That is what I say. If you do a right choice, you acquire punya. If you do a wrong choice, you definitely gain papa. Law of karma. Law of dharma, sensing what is right and wrong, and if you have free will, if you don't exercise in keeping with that, there is law of karma also is there. That can take care of the person. If you are in conformity with dharma, then definitely there is a harmony in life, etc. Anyway, so if we understand order like this, that all that you are aware of is ultimately Ishvara, it means you can relax because it is infallible. In the awareness of Ishvara, you can relax like this. You can trust the order. Naturally, it's all law, and that law doesn't have any exception. You may not be able to understand the law completely because of the limitation of your knowledge. You can further discover it, but it is infallible, basically. So we should not say God is infallible. I say infallible order is Ishvara. The difference we should know, I have told you. So Ishvara is in form of this order. Anyway, so we can conform to the order and we can make use of those laws to gain knowledge. We can make use of these laws, for our own purpose in our life. So as an adult, basically, you should have this absolute trust because of the understanding that Ishvara is manifesting the form of this order that is infallible. It is impartial also. Unlike human laws have all partiality. Laws of taxation also, laws of other laws of administration have partiality. Some laws are fine with some people, some laws are not fine with other people. Yeah, but here it is everywhere. Like law of gravitation is same for everyone. Every law which is a manifestation of Ishvara is totally impartial. Why you are saying Swami? So you can trust. You can trust. Yeah. In human law you may not trust. because it's not, sometimes some laws are made for convenience, including in the United States. I don't want to say anything, but some laws are made for convenience of some group, or some laws are not made, and whatever the laws are there, even though it creates a lot of havoc, but still they are allowed to go. Human laws has all this possibility because of Raga, Dvesha, etc. Ishvara is impartial, totally impartial. So you can trust. You can trust. And it is infallible, means which never fails. It's called infallible. Never fails. Because of these two reasons, you can trust. You can trust Ishvara, who is informed of these orders. You can trust Ishvara. The trust which was violated as a child, you can definitely trust it. Now the most crucial thing is how to validate all these things. I'll talk to you in a few minutes and then we can stop. See, what happens is, I told you, I'm going back now to, in the form of orders we have understood, I am pervaded, and therefore if all the laws are pervading me, which all the orders are pervading me, infallible laws are pervading me, definitely therefore I am in order. Whatever my emotions etc. are there, I say my emotion, but it's manifestation of Ishvara. I am okay. With anger, I am okay. With jealousy, I am okay. With everything, I am okay. But with I am okay, when you say before, so giving response to that, depending upon your emotion, before that, well, there is something you should take into account. As I told you, we call it as a two-step response, in which the first step is you appreciate anything which is happening here, or anything which is there, as Ishvara, including your anger, etc. And then, well, if you take into account, what immediately arises is not a reaction. What immediately arises is a sympathy. When you appreciate that this anger, which is manifestation of Ishvara, immediately what arises is a sympathy in you. Otherwise, generally we have a one-step response. So anger is in fact a response to the world. Fear is a response to the world. That's a one-step response. This is a two-step response. Puja Swami is very, very well known, and it's really wonderful. And so two-step response means, well, you take into account that this any emotion which is there in me is ultimately because of the unconscious, and that unconscious is part of psychological order. Because of Ishvara alone, well, to save me, well, Ishvara has really, from conscious mind, my pains and everything has been covered, which is unconscious. That is the background of my response to the world. Let me appreciate that background. Very important. Giving response to a person, before that you give a response to the background of the person, which is responsible for the behavior of the person. That gives a space to you, an inner space. So you will not react immediately. Very important. And so it gives you space in all your interactions. So person with whom you interact, well, definitely comes with his or her background. You respond in a situation with your background, and this background you will never know, and you should not know. You will never know, because it's part of unconscious. So why this person is talking like this? Why all the time? I'll tell you the questions which are there in a married couple, which creates a lot of conflict. Why she is blaming me all the time? Why he is not doing what I say to her? Why is, varieties of the things. Or why do I have a fear for some unwanted, for an unknown situation? Sometimes you come to know that tomorrow you are going to some office, etc. Well, you're meeting, and it's a totally unknown environment, and somehow you have fear, right? Some people have that fear of meeting unknown people also. Like that, there are several things. So all these are there from the background, unconscious. So you will never know the background of anybody. You need not know. A therapist let it know. Because the person will say, well, I have this, I have that. And it may come out also in the process. You did not know, but you know that his, her response, his or her behavior, his or her way of talking, living, etc., responding to you, relating to you, has a basis in that unconscious. There is a background. Appreciation of the background, part of the psychological order, or psychological order, which is Ishvara, is a first step response. You immediately won't react to the person. Generally, we react to the person's behavior, not understanding the cause of the behavior. You need not know. You just appreciate that there is a background, which is the cause for the response. If you do that, well, you are saved. You are very much saved. Anyway, so if you recognize the existence of background, then your response is not what is being said, what is being done by the other to you. Yeah. The response is to your own appreciation of the existence of the background. And that knowledge makes you immediately a compassionate person towards the other. If you respond to the behavior, it's a reaction. If you respond to the background, existence of the background, recognizing a background, existence of the background, then a different emotion arises. And that's called compassion. If you appreciate your own behavior has a background, let's come to our own thing. That there is a whatever way, that is how people are not able to change. Their way of talking, their way of behaving, they are not able to change. Because it's not in their hands. You may not be able to know what is unconscious. You need not, because being unconscious. But it comes from that. It comes forth from that. Maybe your conscious mind tells that, well, I should not talk like this. I should not behave like this. I should not eat like this. I should not do like this. Everything. But you will see, in a giving response to the word, you again go back to the same thing. And if you try to find out, you won't be able to find out anything. You may say tendencies, this, that, etc. That's it. But yes, there is a background, which is psychological order, which is Ishvara. When you understand this much, immediately you will not react to the behavior of the person. A sympathy arises in you and definitely makes you a compassionate person, a simple person. And that compassion begins with you first. It will not come there. I will tell you how to discover compassion also. So compassion basically begins with you. Means you appreciate that your behavior or your own emotions, etc., has a basis in that unconscious. You have a background. Others also have a background. Everyone has a background for their behavior, etc. So well, definitely, then once you have a compassion for yourself, appreciating or recognizing the existence of this background, then definitely you will have a compassion for others. You can be kind to yourself first, then you can be kind to the others also. So you welcome whatever comes and then you manage your emotions, etc. And this is what Bhagavan said beautifully in the 9th chapter, in the 34th verse, where Bhagavan said, Man Mana Bhava. So Man Mana Bhava means be the one whose mind is in harmony with me. Here mind means emotions basically. So the sense of the Bhagavad Gita can now very well be understood that you be in harmony with me means I have manifested in you as a psychological order. So you welcome the emotions. Well, basically, you don't victimize others. You welcome emotion, appreciating me as the very psychological order in you. And therefore, Ishvara is in the form of psychological order, forming the background of every person, including myself. You can be compassionate when you go one step further, not just to the behavior. To the behavior, you will immediately react. But there is a cause for the behavior which is nothing but Ishvara's psychological order, Ishvara alone, then a different emotion arises in you, and that is compassion. And that you should begin with yourself first. And how to discover compassion, I will talk to you. So anyway, so by understanding this psychological order, you stay with Ishvara. If you don't appreciate psychological order, and thereby you go away from Ishvara, then in the transactions there is nothing but reactions. Lots of reactions. That is how I find even in a married couple, they all the time fight. Why you are like this? Why you are like this? Why you are like this? And sometimes they go to the extent to blame their parents also. It's the height of the thing. Because you are like that, therefore your parents are also like that, and something like that. Just not appreciating what is there, the root. And that is Ishvara's manifestation is psychological order. The very unconscious is Ishvara. Great blessing of Ishvara that from the conscious mind of the child it has gone to unconscious, covered. That's how he is saved. That's a grace of Ishvara. That alone is the controller of all responses in the world. Your fear comes from unconscious. I told you very clearly, you cannot be fearful with your conscious mind, with your deliberation. You cannot be. Your anger comes from unconscious. Consciously you cannot be angry. I just told you. So please understand. Some people ask me, somebody, how do you say everything? These all responses from the unconscious. I said, whatever the emotions are there, try to be consciously, exhibit those emotions. Not a single one. You don't want to be sad, but you happen to be sad. You don't want to be jealous, and you happen to be jealous. You don't want to be angry, and you happen to be. That is unconscious. That controls. That is called background. That's the background. That is Ishvara's manifestation. So giving a response to the person's behavior, talk, etc., whatever, or habits. Sometimes you don't like someone's habits. And you should know that a habit is a habit which is not in the head. That's how it is a habit. If you ask me, I have a habit of drinking tea. I'm telling you, very fact. And it creates acidity, etc. And a lot of people has advised me, Swamiji, you become advisor to many people. Unnecessarily, you should not advise because you are not able to give up what you one thing. Could you follow? Yeah. And in fact, your will works in initial phase of a life. You can change habit. You have a will. Later part, habit grows. Will is nil. Yeah. In old age, it's just a bundle of habits. It's bundle. That's how they fight with the old people, parents, etc. You are not able to change. You are not able to change. But you cannot. Now they cannot. You are like child. You are like this. You are like this. That is the characteristic of an old age where your will has no role to play. You are full of habits because lots of experiences and lots of impression has formed a habit. Gone. In a young age, well, you can change. Your will is even, has a predominance over your habit, tendencies. But in a later age, tendencies of the habit is stronger. Will is almost nil. Anyway, so what I am saying is, Bhagavan said, be the one whose mind is in harmony. Appreciate me in everyone. He, she, everyone is behaving, talking, habits, all has a basis. Appreciate it as me. Then you are in harmony with me. Your response will be in terms of a sympathy. Very sympathy is a manifestation of Ishvara. In fact, sympathy, etc., also is a very dynamic response of love. Love is the basic emotion. Love means a total acceptance of oneself. Love towards others means a total acceptance of the person. The total acceptance is possible only when I appreciate it as an order. Right? You appreciate it as an order. I am in order. Why? Because order pervades me. Whatever my psychology, whatever the emotions are there, it's all manifestation of Ishvara. Whatever my habits, whatever my hunger, thirst, whatever type of body, everything. Total acceptance. Because ultimately everything is a manifestation of Ishvara. And therefore I am in order. I am okay. That's a sympathy. That's a love for us, a total acceptance. That love alone results into sympathy. But Swami, how to discover that? You say everything, but we are not able to discover this sympathy, etc. Well, you have to act as if you are a sympathetic person. That's the only way. That's the only way. You have compassion, sympathy or compassion. So you want to discover a compassion for yourself and for others, and thereby you want to improve the relationship, your responses to the world, which I call it as a goal of the life. Which is a goal of life. Even if you don't understand Atma is Brahman, etc., no problem. Really. As a Vedanta, I am telling you, if you know how to relate to the world, that's it. At least this much. Compassion is a basis. Love is a basis. Love is the emotion, I am telling you. All other are manifestation of love. Understanding is love. And you're reaching out, of course, to others, love. Having compassion also. These are all dynamic forms of the love. Love means a basic understanding, basic acceptance of oneself as Ishvara's manifestation. And if you cannot discover the compassion, well, you act it out as if you have compassion. This is how we do. This is how we do everything. Learn swimming by acting of swim. There is no other way. The coach tells the person, jump in the water, in shallow water, and do exactly what I do. But that boy says, well, you are swimming. I don't know swimming. How can I do? He says, you just act it out the way I do. And he learns. So definitely there is no other way. You learn swimming only by swimming. You learn driving by driving. Right? You learn cycling by cycling. Learn driving by driving. You put a L, of course, everywhere. On the front and back and on the other side. L means leave me alone. I'm telling you, the person who learns driving is the safest person on the road. Because everyone is leaving him. Yeah. Learn driving by driving. Learn cycling by cycling. Learn swimming by swimming. Learn to be compassionate by acting it out. How will I act out that I have compassion? Give some help in Infosave, I am telling you. Really? Just, I don't feel like doing any service. Service to anybody. As if you have a lot of compassion, you are reaching out to help others. Try, start. And you will find one day, you will call me, I will give you my number. Honestly, I am telling you. It's a principle of faking it till you make it. Really? It works. And that becomes the basis of your responses, in which you love yourself, you have compassion for yourself, appreciating this background, and you love others. You cannot love others. You cannot have a compassion for others unless you love yourself or compassion. If you hate yourself, you hate the world. In fact, that alone manifests. Hate for oneself manifests in the form of hating others. Ultimately, it is one self manifesting everywhere. And therefore, this is a way, well, we have to appreciate this psychological order, and then responding will be in terms of you have sympathy. So basically, it's the whole life is ultimately becomes a search for this infallible, and once you discover this Ishvara, which is infallible, which is father and mother both, you will solve the issues which are pending with your parents in the childhood, violation of trust, and they have gone away from the awareness of the child, feeling insecure, fear, etc. All issues, even anger also. Anger also is same thing. The child cannot be, how much I talk, a child cannot be angry to the parents. Child has no scope to be angry on the parents for some issue. That anger manifests. That's how you find, we are not in a process of judging, but you find some people are very angry. They get angry on every small thing. That anger is unresolved issue of the child, that frozen child. We have to process it, taking into calling therapist. Ishvara is a therapist. Then, appreciate it first as a Ishvara's order, and then definitely sympathy, compassion arises, and you handle your emotion. You manage your emotion. You don't victimize anybody. In fact, that emotion starts healing. When compassion comes, healing starts. Right? So this is what the thing is. The last thing, so when there is a fear, I welcome in so many words, I welcome fear, I welcome Ishvara. When fear comes, say this. This is how Ishvara is. When anger arises, tell this much. This is how Ishvara is. Look at yourself in the mirror, you find you are very ugly. This is how Ishvara is. Swamiji, I am not able to tell that. Then you will react. In a one-step response, the devotee is eclipsed totally. In a two-step response, you remain devotee. If you remain devotee, naturally appreciating Ishvara, then you will be devotee later. This is how the things are. This is a way of processing. Anyway, so when I welcome fear, I welcome Ishvara. I go one step backward. Fear is my immediate response to the world, and it is not a conscious response naturally. It is unconsciousness. It is unconscious, and in the unconscious response, that frozen child is definitely there, controlling your response. So to welcome fear, I take a step backward, as I said, make a two-step response. Means I welcome fear, means I welcome Ishvara. And this is how Ishvara is, you should say. Once I realize this, then with reference to my own emotion, I become a healer of myself. So I consciously become a therapist to myself. In fact, the Ishvara becomes the greatest therapist for me in the form of order. This is how one becomes relatively free from fear. You have discovered, not gained fearlessness. You have discovered fearlessness. Please understand. Because already you are pervaded by the order, Ishvara, which you have started appreciating. So you discover fearlessness relatively. Abhayam pratistham vindate. One level is over. Tomorrow, next level. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sorry, I took a little more time, but I wanted to complete this topic.
No, that's okay. No,
Yeah.
that's okay.